Now business owner Ryan Feigenblatt says you won't regret closing the deal at this casual yet delicious neighborhood eatery. It's located in Davie and it's called Luke's Seafood and Grill.
Hi, I'm Luke Lamage, chef and part owner at Luke's Seafood and Grill over here in Davie. I've been cooking since I probably was 5 or 6 years old and been in the restaurant industry since I was 13, 14. So always loved cooking, started cooking with my mom, and I guess that's what I was born to do. I've been cooking seafood for a while. My previous stop, I was the head chef of Coconuts Restaurant on the beach where mostly was seafood. So I've got to kind of perfect that craft, for the last 15, 16 years. But, we also do a lot of great dishes, but although seafood is kind of like, what we do most. Well, the reason we decided to open a restaurant out west is because there's plenty of seafood restaurants out east. So there's a dime a dozen. And we decided to come out west and open one out west for the great citizens of the West Broward. So that way a lot of our locals don't have to travel out east to get, really, really good seafood. What I believe sets our menu apart from everybody else is the diversity of it. A lot of guests that eat here is different flavors that you're not going to find most different places. Luke's Seafood and Grill is good food, good mood, because we stand behind the product, and I've never met anyone that is not in a good mood after eating a plate of good food.
So you love the comfort food at this restaurant, right, Ryan?
Oh yeah. So Luke's is it's just a cozy restaurant in a nondescript plaza, and the chef is top notch. The seafood dishes that he's turning out are just unbelievable.
And tell me a little bit about first impressions when you walk into the restaurant.
Yeah, so it's definitely a small place. The first thing that I noticed was on the wall, good food, good mood, and was the quote, and that set the stage for the whole experience.
Sure sets the tone, right? Trevor, what'd you think?
I will say it's a little interesting pulling up to it. It's in almost like a strip mall, and it's right up next to an auto body shop. And so when I pulled in, I almost missed it because the signage on the top is very small. It's not very flashy. It literally just says Luke's in standard writing on top.
But just think, you could have your car fixed.
Exactly, yeah. While you're waiting, you can have some of the best seafood you can have in South Florida.
Why not?
But once you enter in, it completely dispels any preconceived notions you might have with it, like
Which
where
you
its
shouldn't
location
have.
is. Exactly.
I
yeah.
mean, honestly, South Florida, with the rents being as high as they are,
Right.
We get in there as a restaurant person. We get in there as wherever we can. So, Christian, what were your first thoughts?
Well, it is in a strip mall.
So were my first 5 restaurants. Okay.
So when I entered the restaurant,
Yep.
I was taken aback because I wasn't expecting for it to be such a tight, small little restaurant. I think it only has like a dozen tables.
Oh, so it's intimate.
Yeah.
So there's a bar at the end. I think it has like five or six high tops chairs, and then actual tables under 10.
All right, Ryan, tell me, what did you have this last time?
Okay, so we started out with the stone crabs, which saved me a trip to Miami for another famous place. And these were really sweet. I mean, they were offset by that nice mustard that they serve with it, very traditional, served chilled and just very tender. And then we also had the conch and shrimp fritters,
Okay,
which were
That
very
sounds
nice.
delicious.
Yeah, those were quite the comfort food, very nice.
lovely. Main course?
Main course, so doubled up on lobster. Started with the lobster roll, which was fantastic. Anytime I see lobster roll on a menu, I'm getting it. And then also did the lobster mac and cheese.
Wow,
Yes.
you really doubled up.
Oh yeah,
You had a
doubled
lot
up.
of
Lots of
seafood
food
that
there.
That is a lot of
No
food.
shame. Well, I was with my fiance.
I can't fit
Okay.
all that.
We also
in.
had
Nice,
the grilled mahi sandwich to
my goodness.
offset the health factor. We had leftovers.
Okay. I would hope so.
Yes,
I bet that mac and cheese is better the next day.
yes. And not traditional either. It was served with penne and really
Nice.
had a nice kick to it.
Trevor, what'd you have?
I had the crab cake BLT, and then we also started with an appetizer of their Scoobies, I think is what they call them.
What's the Scooby?
They
Scooby
say it's their
snack.
signature appetizer. It's snow crab pinchers that are
Okay.
cracked, and they're served in like a house-made garlic butter dipping sauce with some toast points on the sides
That
and stuff.
doesn't sound bad at all.
No, they were quite delicious. They were very good. And then the crab cake BLT was phenomenal. I would recommend it to pretty much anybody out there. I don't normally eat crab cakes because I find them to be not too delicious. They don't really have a lot of crab flavor.
Sometimes a lot
This
of
was
filling.
the best crab cake I've ever eaten.
Wow.
Like every bite of
That's
the
a big
burger or like
statement.
the sandwich itself, you taste the bacon, you taste the tomato, but then there was always like that savory sweetness
Mm-hmm.
of the crab that came through every time. So it was a very delicious sandwich.
Christian?
I started off with a Caesar salad. The greens were green, real bright and green, fresh. And then my main was fish and chips. The cod was really good, light batter.
Anybody have dessert?
I did.
Okay.
I had the bread pudding,
Okay.
delicious. I was trying to figure out what type of bread they used. I'm gonna guess it was brioche, just really tasteful dessert.
Anything else?
We had the peanut butter cheesecake.
How was that?
I was a little nervous going into it that it was gonna be really like overly sweet,
Uh-huh.
and it was very, very light. It was easy to eat throughout or after the meal and everything, and it did not punch you in the face with a lot of the sweetness. So as a diabetic, it was very, like, okay, cool. I feel comfortable eating this.
Yeah. All right. How about service?
The service was fantastic. Yeah, like I said, very small restaurant, but very attentive, and it was very efficient.
Did you find value in the pricing?
I did.
Okay. Great. Well, Ryan, Luke's was your pick. Sum it up for me, please.
Well, my biggest complaint is that I had trouble deciding what to order, and I have to go back for those Scoobies for sure.
They're good, yeah.
Okay. Trevor, you want to tell me?
Yeah, I would recommend if you're ever in the Davie area and it's around lunchtime, I think lunchtime would be the best place to go for that. So.
Okay. Christian?
If you enjoy good fish and chips with a nice cold beer, I recommend this restaurant.
And who doesn't? For fresh and satisfying seafood classics, you can visit Luke's Seafood and Grill, located at 5511 South University Drive in Davie. They're open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are not accepted, where the average price for dinner without drinks is about $50.